This series summarizes the risk countermeasures obtained in the previous Series 4, and introduces the results of Mr. Shigehiro Nakamura's application of these countermeasures to the review of safety measures in many companies, which resulted in great results. In this picture book, Ken, the top manager who promoted safety measures at a fictional company A, takes the lead in forming a project team of 3 people who researched and examined various materials, and summarized the process of putting them into practical use at the company's own factory. Now, I will introduce some of them. This illustration is an example of when hazard prediction is first taught in a factory. There are 2 types of accidents and injuries: involvement accidents and self-responsibility accidents. There are limitations to what factory workers can do to prevent all involvement accidents. But in addition to focusing on creating an environment where accidents do not occur, this picture book will introduce measures to thoroughly eliminate self-responsibility accidents. Safety measures in factories should include a lot of learning, because those involved must not be injured or suffer accidents. However, unless the very simple but important question of why do injuries and accidents occur can be answered accurately, this type of measure will not progress. Therefore, in order to effectively eradicate or prevent the causes of accidents and injuries, this company used this diagram to summarize measures that are easy to understand physically and scientifically, and that focus on effective targets for preventing contact with energy. This time, the main focus of safety measures is on measures within the factory, but as the factory is located on a part of the Earth, we cannot ignore the relationship with the increasing number of natural disasters in recent years. Therefore, we introduced the contents and measures of BCP, as well as the use of hazard maps necessary for safety management for factory safety measures. At the same time, as shown in this figure, we also summarized the methods and examples of analyzing cases that have occurred elsewhere and using them to improve safety measures at our own factory manufacturing sites. They will be promoting safety measures in the factory, focusing on self-responsibility accidents, and the procedures for these measures can be applied directly to the human error measures introduced in Series 3. The reason for this is that we previously introduced the principle that injuries and accidents occur when people come into contact with energy. In the case of quality, the target was objects, but this time, the target is energy, and the same countermeasures will be used. Also, in the picture book, we have introduced many examples that we have learned from this experience. As for examples of safety violations that can lead to accidents, please refer to the examples introduced in the picture book. Excluding these types of actions, the first safety measure is the use of poka-yoke. Let me introduce one of those examples. This is an example of a poka-yoke prevention measure at a press work site. In the past, cutting of hands and fingers was a major issue in this workplace. However, as shown on the right side of this figure, in the process that uses many presses today, when a person presses the lowering operation switch with the die called the ram, the person operates it completely away from the press where the ram descends, ensuring complete safety. Not only in factories, but also in the dispensing workplace shown in this diagram, there is a risk of a serious accident if the wrong medicine is taken. As a result, research has been conducted into human error countermeasures in this field using video. Video analysis was used here. In the past, this countermeasure was carried out by having veterans gather and brainstorm to come up with countermeasures, but it was shown that this type of countermeasure is not very effective. This video analysis is also effective in situations in factories where workers accidentally come into contact with energy. Therefore, this analysis method is used in the picture book as well, and specific analysis contents, application cases, and their effects are given as examples. The procedure for implementing the safety measures introduced earlier requires that the energy that is the subject of accidents and injuries is clearly indicated to employees in the form of a hazard, and then measures are taken to implement the measures. Therefore, this picture book provides examples of how to grasp the current situation by showing it in the form shown in this photo, and how to accurately implement improvements and management. There have been many cases where similar measures have already been implemented and been effective, similar to the countermeasures introduced here. This case is one of them. Earlier, we introduced the use of hazard maps, and this company implemented the measures, and as a result of utilizing Heinrich's principles to address the source of incident-level accidents and injuries, they have continued to have zero accidents or injuries since then. In the picture book, they introduced the efforts of 2 other manufacturing companies. Even if factory a worker is knowledgeable about safety measures and good at explaining them, if they can't use them in real life, they will be at risk of injury. The key is whether they can detect danger in practice. This research and investigation have already been systematized as CRM in the aviation industry, and the qualification is whether they can effectively detect danger and take countermeasures. In this picture book, the students apply these countermeasures in their own companies and work to strengthen their safety measures as individuals. This picture is a summary of that. Thank you very much for watching the introductory video for this picture book. You can access this picture book on the Kindle site at this URL. We hope that this book will be useful in ensuring the safety of all factory workers.